Hello and welcome back to another episode of Yokayi Footy Shorts. My name is Megan Waters. I'm a very passionate Warramungu Yaru woman, and as always, I'm joined by my brother, Andy Krakouer, Minang and Ingida man, and Cracks, we have a guest here today.
Yeah, we certainly do, and he's an absolute star. He's the proud side-by and waving man, none other than Benny Davis. How are you, my brother?
Thank you. I am your friendly neighbourhood Torres Strait Islander, my people, and absolute pleasure to be here with you two juggernauts today. Hopefully I can be at your level, but we'll see how we go.
Juggernauts, I like it. Well, that's a good way to articulate what round 20 was. It was an absolute juggernaut weekend of football, full of entertainment. Wins, losses, it had it all, Cracks, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did. We're going to talk about a game up at the SCG with the Swans taking on the Western Bulldogs, and their slow starts have been a bit of a struggle for them this year, and certainly came back to bite them on the backside. And this man, Jamarra Ugle-Hagan, was in some amazing form once again, Benny. Absolutely
Amazing form this bloke. The last few weeks, what he's been able to do, kicked another 4 goals this week and has been absolutely dominating that forward line. Sydney, traditionally a great contested inside team, but the Dogs getting them done by 41 to 29 clearances just meant that Sydney had no answers because the Western Bulldogs forwards were getting all of the ball. So what does that mean for Sydney, Cracks?
Oh, mate, I think they'll be fine. Obviously, the last couple of weeks haven't been great, but the Bloods culture, that's going to get them through, and they're just going to be able to time their run right for the premiership and the finals.
Yeah, indeed. It is good to see the Doggies make their way into the 8, but I do want to get to the Battle of the Birds now, Hawthorn versus the Crows. It wasn't really a battle, though, after that quarter-time break. It was all Hawthorn's game from there. Their form continues to shine and they're playing with such cohesion as a team. They're looking stronger than ever at the moment and they're just cool. They're a fun team at the moment, and the celebrations to match. Brother Jam and Impey there getting up and about, which is just absolutely what we love to see.
James Sicily, his 150th game with a little cigar, or not quite sure what that celebration was about, but CJ loved it and so did all the boys, Benny.
They did love it, and you can see there that getting around each other, the connection and the culture they're building, even when they had that day of, coming in with the 80s fashion week where they're all going retro. CJ had the disco outfit on. You can tell it's a really good vibe there at the moment and it's translating onto the field.
Yeah, and the Hawks are literally flying at the moment. And Melbourne and the Giants were at the MCG on Saturday night. Prime time, this man was outstanding, Tommy Green. He's been so consistent this year. Had the 33 and kicked the 1 goals. But I love the way how this man, Brett Daniels, goes about it. He just gets to the right spots at the right time. He's such a consistent player, plays that high half forward really, really well. The Demons worked their way back in the last quarter. It was a really close one, but the Giants were able just to hold on. But Hogan was absolutely huge. He kicked 4 goals, but his one-on-one work was absolutely outstanding and probably the best in the comp at the moment behind Jamarra on form, I think. Toby Green kicked 3 goals too, had the 16 disposals, but an outstanding win from the Giants.
Yeah, it was indeed an outstanding win and one that they needed. But geez, wasn't it pretty kind of grim watching that game and seeing the lack of fan attendance. This is the point in the season where you really need your fans to be getting behind you, and that was not great for the Melbourne Football Club, seeing their kind of lack of representation from fans in the crowd, but that is okay. Look, I'm going to have to take it to the Essendon St Kilda game next, and geez, was that not a torturous watch? It's really cracked for the Dons now. They started the season so well, sitting at the top of the ladder for most of it. Now they've fallen out of the 8 and they've got a pretty challenging run home, but St Kilda certainly would have taken some great confidence from this massive win.
Yes, and they certainly would. And 2 men who were absolutely outstanding. Rowan Marshall had the 26 disposals and kicked 1 goal. And another man who had an outstanding game was Naziah Wanganeen-Malira. He had the 30 disposals and kicked 1 goal, Benny.
An absolutely amazing game, which is why he is the Yokayi Footy moment of the week this week. If we run through this play right here from Naziah, gets the ball here, gives it off, looks for the 1-2, gets it back inside, uses that laser right leg that he's cut so many teams open with this year, finds Dan Butler inside forward 50, and now like a shark, circling his prey, looking for the chance, and there it is. Gets it off Dan Butler, sells a bit of candy and puts it straight through the middle of the bid 6. You love to see black excellence on the field, and you love to see a bit of that from Nazaya Mangali, or what I like to call him, the Messiah.
Love it. And absolutely love your commentary on that, by the way. We need to get you on NIRS, National Indigenous Radio Services, I reckon. Cracks calling some of the footy at the weekends. That was great, a great rundown there, Benny. But look, I do want to get to the last little segment of the show today, and that's the ladder predictor. We obviously know we've got 4 rounds left in the home and away season. We've got 4 teams tied at 48 points at the minute. The Doggies have made their way into the 8. Essendon have fallen out. I want to know how you see it unravelling over the next 4 weeks, especially as we know Hawthorn are in fine form at the moment.
Yeah, Mixie, it caused me a little bit of a headache trying to go through this and pick the margins and whatever else, but not too much is going to change, I think, from the top 4 from that perspective. Just, I suppose, maybe 3rd and 4th where they finish. The Giants there on 5th, but the Western Bulldogs for mine, I think Port Adelaide, watching them last week against Carlton, they were absolutely outstanding. I think they slip in there to stay into 7th, and the Bulldogs with their percentage, I think it's too hard for them to fall out. They've been, playing some great footy, and unfortunately, just for the Hawks, I'd love to be able to put them into the 8, but not for mine. But Benny, what you got, brother?
Cracks, sorry to disappoint you, but we all love an underdog story. Everyone knows the Mighty Ducks movie, a great movie of underdogs. And I've got that here with the Hawks getting up to 3rd. The energy and the passion they're playing with at the moment, I just think that momentum takes them into the finals and they become a really strong team that's contending really hard. So I've put them into 3rd. Western Bulldogs have hanged on to 8, and that unfortunately means for my Hawks getting up to 3rd that someone's had to come out, and it's been Port Adelaide that I've squeezed out, and it has nothing to do with my past being at Adelaide, so no bias there, but that's my ladder.
Oh, I love it. It certainly makes for a tantalising finish to the home and away season. I cannot wait to see how the next 4 weeks shape up. That's it from us for another week of Yokayi Footy Shorts, but I want to say a massive thank you to you, Benny Davis. Geez, you bring some good vibes to this table. For those of you that are watching, get used to seeing this face around plenty more. And Cracks, as always, you're a big darty and we love your work and your expert analysis. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week for another episode of Yokayi Footy Shorts, so we will see you then.
For the best and most comprehensive wrap of each round, Access All Areas is the show for you, unpacking all the action and dissecting the big news from each round. Access All Areas thanks to Crypto.com, Mondays on AFL.com.au and the AFL Live app.